Conn's Home Plus is a furniture and electronics retailer chain that opened in 1890.
Come to Conn's and save big on name brand appliances, electronics, and furniture, all at Conn's guaranteed low prices. Hurry into Conn's and save on this Franklin 3-piece Mia sofa, oversized chair, and storage ottoman this week just $9.99 after $280 savings. Visit Conns.com for daily giveaways and check out our weekly ad. Better prices, more choices, now at Conn's.
Conn's traces its history to 1890 when Edward Eastham founded Eastham Plumbing and Heating Company in Beaumont, Texas. Eastham Plumbing and Heating grew with the town, but in 1931, in the midst of the Depression, the business failed. It was taken over by the First National Bank of Beaumont and renamed Plumbing and Heating, Inc. The company soon came into the hands of an area oil baron who essentially bought the business to make sure he had an available plumber after a recent cold snap had burst his pipes and he had been unable to get someone to do the repair work. In 1933, C.W. Conn Sr., who had been selling appliances for an area gas company, was hired to run plumbing and heating with an option to buy it. A year later, he exercised the option, bought the company, and renamed it Conn Plumbing and Heating Company. In 1937, he began the transition away from plumbing and heating when he started selling refrigerators, soon adding gas ranges, and within 3 years, Conn moved the business to a building and storefront he purchased at 268 Pearl Street in Beaumont. C.W. Conn would be joined by his son, C.W. Conn Jr., who joined the company in 1953 after serving in the Korean War. Another important employee of the company was John J. Frank Jr., who went on to work for Conn's in 1956, taking a job as a salesman on the floor. His son, Tom Frank, began his full-time career at Conn's in the early 1960s, and alongside C.W. Conn Jr., would play an instrumental role in growing the Beaumont appliance store into a major retail chain. C.W. Conn Jr. succeeded his father as the head of the business and took it to an entirely new level. During the baby boom years of the 1950s, the town was growing at a fast clip and able to support a second location. The population increased from 94,000 in 1950 to nearly 120,000 10 years later. The site for the second Conn appliance store was considered remote at the time, located in the rural outskirts of Beaumont on 11th Street in 1959. In fact, the store was set up in an old dairy barn that was converted by laying down a cement floor. Discerning a customer needed for dependable quality service, CW launched a repair service and maintenance operation in 1962 called the Appliance Parts and Service. In 1964, the younger Conn co-founded Conn Credit Corporation, a consumer credit company that would provide financing to Conn's customers who needed help purchasing new products for their homes. Conn's added 2 more stores in Beaumont by 1966, and at this stage was generating annual sales of $4 million and was operating 4 stores. The next step for the small chain was to expand into the so-called Golden Triangle region that extended from southeastern Texas into the southwestern part of Louisiana. In 1969, Conn's opened its first 2 Louisiana stores. Additional stores were added in 1975 in Port Arthur, Orange and Baytown, Texas, and Lafayette, Louisiana. In 1983, the emerging appliance chain would expand westward to the Houston market. It was not the best of times to do business in a city very much dependent on the oil business. Plummeting commodity prices crippled the industry, bankrupting a large number of companies and resulting in the loss of many jobs and a reduction in the number of people looking to buy new televisions and washing machines. But the retailer persevered until conditions improved so that Houston, with 18 units, would eventually enjoy the greatest concentration of Conn appliance stores in the chain's area of operations. Conn's expanded into San Antonio in 1993, the same year that the company cracked the $100 million mark in revenues. But Conn's had now reached a key moment. Management concluded that it had to reposition the chain if it were to realize even greater growth. Tom Frank succeeded C.W. Conn Jr. as CEO and chairman. In addition, Conn's made the investments necessary to upgrade its infrastructure and took steps to refine its operating strategy. Also in 1994, Conn's moved into another Texas market, opening its first store in the San Antonio-Austin area. All told, by the end of 1994, the chain totaled 21 stores. Despite the changes made between 1994 and 1999, Conn's added only 5 stores. The chain reached $200 million in sales in 1999, and the chain now began an accelerated rate of expansion, due in a large part to new ownership, which possessed the financial resources to grow the business. In 1998, the Arkansas-based Stevens family and its business interests bought a controlling interest in the chain from the Conn family. The Stevens family ran a major regional investment banking firm. It was now actively looking for opportunities with small and mid-sized companies such as Conn's. The chain moved into the Baton Rouge, Louisiana market in 1999. That year, Conn's recorded sales of $236 million, improved to $279 million in 2000 and $330 million in 2001. The chain then opened its first stores in Austin and Corpus Christi in 2002. In 2003, the company went public with an IPO of $14 per share. At the time of the offering, Conn's was operating 42 stores. New merchandise was added, such as bedding, lawn and garden products, and small electronic components. In December of 2004, C.W. Conn Jr., who took over his father's Beaumont appliance store in the 1950s and expanded it into a 49-store operation in Texas and Louisiana, died at 74. By then, the company had expanded into Austin, Corpus Christi, Dallas-Fort Worth, and McAllen markets, and opened its first Oklahoma store in Oklahoma City. By 2008, total revenues was approaching $1 billion, and the company was at the top of its game. But all that was about to change with the coming recessionary storm. Over the next 2 years, the new senior management team hit rough seas as a combination of tight credit, underperforming stores, a promotion product mix, widening losses, and an imminent loan default nearly sank the business. The company under new management executed one of the most dramatic turnarounds in retail by closing underperforming stores, overhauling the credit operation, refinancing debt, and trading up to higher margin goods. 1 year later, by late 2011, the company was back in the black and comp sales were soaring. With the ship of state steadied and the new financing in place, Wright was ready to resume Conn's expansion, albeit with a new mattress and furniture-focused merchandise mix and a new store format dubbed Home Plus with which to showcase it. Conn's opened the new prototype in 2012 and had been working to convert the store base to a larger, more productive format ever since, through a combination of remodels, relocations, and new locations. The latter included a spat of new states, including the first Arizona and New Mexico stores in 2012 and entries in 2014 into Colorado, Nevada, Mississippi, Tennessee, and South Carolina. That year, the company operated 125 stores stretching from the southwest to the southeast. But just like the Great Recession previously, the pandemic took its toll on the company. The company rebounded only to face financial difficulties. Conn's joined the other major furniture retailers who continue to struggle after the pandemic boom, particularly as Americans struggle with persistent inflation. Discretionary big-ticket items, such as furniture, have quickly dropped off the shopping list for more budget-conscious consumers. In December of 2023, Conn's acquired Badcock Home Furniture and more from the franchise group, bringing the overall store count to around 500 stores from both brands. But in July of 2024, Conn's Home Plus filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection and announced it was closing nearly half of its 170 stores. Conn's has assets and liabilities worth at least $1 billion each, according to the filing. The 73 Conn's Home Plus stores closing are in Florida, Texas, Arizona, Colorado, North Carolina, and Virginia. In addition, 35 Badcock stores were also closing. A Conn spokesperson said that as the company goes through the Chapter 11 process, it continues to have ongoing discussions with potential buyers to sell all or parts of the business and preserve jobs. Shares of the company have fallen more than 90% for the year, and the company received a delisting notice from NASDAQ a few weeks ago. The company had over $1.5 billion in annual revenue and had more than 4,000 employees across the southern United States, operating more than 160 retail locations across 15 states: Alabama, Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Nevada, New Mexico, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Virginia. Badcock Furniture confirmed that all of its stores across 8 states would be closing on its Facebook page. It also noted it has posted a going out of business sales on its website. The company has not shared a timetable for full closure of the 550 stores it owns between the Conn's and Badcock Furniture brands. So what do you remember about this place? Leave a comment or a suggestion for a future video below. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.
Bringing back memories from the good old days. That's super cool, man.